you guys want to start? Let's kick it off.
Yeah, sure.
Go ahead, Yana.
Okay.
Or you want me to start?
Yeah.
Yeah, you should tell us.
Thanks so much for joining the community call today. And thanks for voting. We've actually got a pretty good turnout, so I'm really excited about that. So I guess we're just going to start here with, as you all are aware, we kind of laid out a tentative agenda that we're going to tend to stick by. The format for this is kind of, we've got about an hour of time for the call. And then first we're just going to start with introductions. So my name's Alex. I'm a part of the Akropolis team here, based in the United States. And I'm here just to kind of help with the community, and also help with governance. I'll pass it to Yana.
Well, I guess everyone knows me. I'm the one who I'm chatting with every day, basically in Discord and Telegram. So I'm leading community initiatives and help with all things connected to products, marketing, and stuff like this. And I really just love helping people. I'm based in Russia, in St. Petersburg. So if anyone is actually in Russia, I can meet with you. I'll pass it to Anna and Kate, our co-founders.
Cool. I'm Anna, this is Kate. We're the founders of Akro. Essentially, been working on the project for a couple of slight pivots for well over 2 years. Kate's background is more crypto native, mine's more institutional. But yeah, we share, we share the interest and actually wanted to build something that can provide a viable alternative to what's happening in the world right now. And we can talk about it in more detail about the motivation and what started this. But my background is investment banking, private equity, and I'll let Kate speak to her. Yeah.
My background is trading, since I was 18 or something. And then I was a financial analyst for the company that eventually turned out to be a crypto company. We're based in, originally I'm from Russia, but right now we're based in Gibraltar, where our company is based. Yeah.
So the team is spread, I spent most of my life in the UK, so in London until recently. Most of our dev team is all over Russia. We'll let our CTO Alex speak for himself and just share a few words. But yeah, the team is distributed. It looks like we'll have some community members in North America, some in Berlin that are joining or helping on the project. I'm very much kind of London and Gibraltar based, and distributed team that's been together for well over 2 years. Sash. Okay. So Alex with an unpronounceable surname that starts with M. That's our CTO.
Расскажешь пару слов?
Да, ты можешь подсказать, потом привет, меня зовут Алекс.
И ты CTO. Микрофон, тебе микрофон заметил.
Замечательно.
My name is Alex. I am CTO of Akropolis. Originally, I'm from Russia. I live in Sochi, Olympic Council of 2014. My background, I am 12 years of various technologies, blockchain, IoT, machine learning.
Cool.
Cool, thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Alex.
Thank you.
All
Jana,
right.
let's go.
Hey guys, as you can see, Alex is really good with coding and development, but he's not real good in English, so he will be he won't be talking much today, unfortunately. But if you have questions for him, you can ask, and I'll act as a mediator, translator, and answer them. Well, we are done with intros, I guess. The next step for this call is actually a Delphi review, and Anna will tell about how it all started, how we started building this product, and what leads to what, and whatever comes to mind next. So Anna, please.
Yeah. So Delphi is very much a product of our work with the San Francisco VC called IDEO. IDEO had a product validation day back in spring, and after June. Time flies, honestly. I don't remember what day it is.
Seriously, in June.
Shit.
It's like
Anyway.
2.5 months ago.
Yeah, it feels like half a life away, yeah. So we've been selected for that after the team won Hack Money Hackathon. And it was a pretty intense but incredibly rewarding experience that we really enjoyed. And having received really positive community feedback on the product, we just decided to prioritize it and to iterate on that. And this is really the foundation of Delphi. The initial logic behind the product was pretty straightforward. It was clear that after Compound launched the token, that people will be heavily motivated by essentially capital gains from the sale of the liquidity mining tokens. Of course, we would have never expected the ecosystem to just completely blow up so quickly. It's a true Cambrian explosion. And that really speaks to how fluid and composable the ecosystem is and just the opportunity that it presents. We purposefully did not and will not be competing with sort of, MLM style farms that, are here today, going tomorrow. We're here to build a reliable, long-lasting source of synthetic savings and high-yield accounts. And to that end, liquidity mining is very much a bootstrapping mechanism, right? That's not the sole driver and not the sole purpose of Delphi, of course not. So our original purpose really was to build a distributed pension fund. The logic is very simple. Having worked with pension funds when I was back at Lehman Brothers, it was pretty clear that we will have another financial crisis, which is kind of what is unraveling right now. And it was pretty clear that real, true fiat inflation will be rampant. The metrics that are typically used to measure inflation are inaccurate and they don't capture the full source of it. So what we wanted to build was a viable alternative to allow people an opportunity to save their money, without being massively rewarded through fiat inflation, without having a risk of banks shutting down or controlling deposits, and to continue the pension fund use case without having a risk of a government that is going through a difficult patch, raiding public funds, which happened on many an occasion. Everybody that lives in Argentina, in Poland, in many developing, of course, in Russia. Like my parents are from Lithuania, the Baltic states. We've all experienced that firsthand. So we know that it's not an extreme view, and and it's very much a trend that has a cyclical nature, and these things absolutely will happen again, and they are unraveling already. So, you know, Alex, for example, he's based in the US. I'm sure he can speak to his perspective on why he found, you know, project interesting. And Alex really, you know, I have to give him credit. He was one of our early beta testers during the idea collab, and he was like, "You have to do this, like, you know, you have to build this feature, that feature." It's like, and he was so passionate. I was like, okay, like, you know, it's easier for us to build it than to be saying no to Alex. So he literally kind of bullied us into this, and it worked. So, you know, we're grateful for that. So yeah, I mean, following the idea validation day, we iterated pretty quickly. So props to Alex. I mean, the team has been working literally 7 days a week since idea to move to mainnet. So it took us a little bit, just a dash under 2 months, and we've been iterating since. So we're the first Delphi project that launched with the guard at launch. So we wrote about it on Twitter. You can just do the search and look it up. Essentially, the concept is pretty straightforward. Yeah. You know, you just take it step by step to mitigate the risk. Yana will expand more on that later if you guys have interest. Our approach is very simple. We will not be chasing massive TVLs, and we don't think it's the correct metric. It's quite easy to game. I think people are realizing it now. Equally, you know, we don't want returns to be diluted for users, and that would be unsustainable. And we don't, you know, for us, you know, just going unaudited and launching, you know, whatever, 500 million plus TVL during the time of hype would have been very, very easy. But we see TVL essentially not as an asset, but as a liability. It's a responsibility to our users, right? And since in the early phases, the product is not charging fees, it makes it a true liability from our perspective, right? So we definitely don't share the YOLO mentality. That probably speaks to also the fact that, you know, Akro is run predominantly by, you know, by women. Women tend to be a little bit more on the conservative side. So we definitely prioritize longer term reliability of the product rather than just, you know, fuck that, we'll just launch and whatever happens, happens. We now are obviously, just if you look at our roadmap, the main priority right now for the next couple of weeks is to incorporate pooling that will have a positive impact on your costs as users.
Yeah, by pooling, Anna, means that basically we like are structuring product bits. So basically our users will be able to deposit just one stable coin or several stable coins, not directly into Curve or other pools,
yeah,
but like just to stake them. And basically once a day or several times a day, right? It's not decided yet. We will be allocating those stable coins into, let's say, Curve or other protocols, and we also will be selling third-party tokens that we receive as yield on a daily basis as well. So this is our main focus for the next like 1-2 weeks, along with DCA. So like the original project, they basically started with dollar cost averaging. And also governance, on-chain governance. So right now we're speaking with XDAI team because they're building their governance that probably we can use ourselves as well. So we're speaking to them like about it and having a few calls next week because they're kind of finished. So hopefully we will be having like our on-chain governance like in by the end of September, beginning of October as well.
Yeah, so we should be one of the first teams to incorporate XDAI on-chain governance tool, and be experimenting with that. Is anything that I haven't covered that you guys want me to focus on?
I think that we can give word to Yana, and
Sure,
she
sure.
will go through like details how we launched Delphi, like the growth of users, etc. etc.
Yeah, sure. Cool. Yeah, over to you.
Thank you. So basically, as you know, we, as Anna told, Delphi idea was born around June, and in the beginning of August, we launched testnet on August 3rd. And on August 14th, we started with closed beta for different users. It was closed due to the fact that basically system was still under testing. There were no audits or whatever, but we wanted to open it and reward people for testing it, as it was like high risk. And for the beta rounds, for the beta testing, we actually made a lottery for people to join, and maybe even someone from this call actually participated in it. So around half of initial TVL, which was set to 50k USD, was given away as allocations to lottery winners, to early beta testers of both Sparta and Delphi, and people were able to actually use the products early. And actually all beta testers who reached out to us, who tried Delphi on testnet and Sparta on Delphi and Sparta on testnet and mainnet, were able to join early. Just like they just needed to follow our announcements. So I will just remind everyone that's here right now that we do not post anything just for fun. We post all the news everywhere, and the only thing we ask you is to follow these updates and ask if you have any questions at all, because we will answer them and clarify anything. So basically, the first round was beta. We had more than 100 participants, with more than a half from the community of beta testers and lottery winners. And the next round, around August 24th, was open beta with total value locked of around $5 million. We reached this cap in 2 or 3 hour stops, with Akro staking pool reaching its cap in 90 minutes. So we actually were overwhelmed with support and with love we saw from the community, and that gave us more strength to work even more, if it's even possible. And we got more than 500 users at the time. Then we increased the cap to 20 million, and right now cap, if you can say so, is around $49 million. It's kept only due to Curve, Compound, Aave, and other savings investing pools. Staking of Akro and Adele is uncapped at the moment, and well, right now in a month, actually, because tomorrow will be an anniversary for Delphi. It will be 1 month live on mainnet. We have 2,600 users with more than 25 million locked in the product. I say it's a big milestone actually for us, because with guarded launch approach, with going in a really safe mode each step we take. It's big numbers for us, and we hope to see them grow even more in future when we add new strategies, new integrations, and increase caps on different pools and stuff like this. What else can I tell about Delphi? Well, actually, that's pretty much it regarding our growth this month. I guess the next step will be about future additions to Delphi and about governance. I will give a word to Kate, back to Kate actually, because if you might not know, but she's, if you can say so, is a product owner of Delphi, basically, alongside with Anna. So they would be the best people to answer these questions. Back to you.
Yeah, so could you please repeat the question, because we had
Yeah, we just lost connection for a few seconds.
Okay. So the next questions would be future additions to the products, like what we are working on further, and governance, of course.
I believe we covered this already actually when we talked
Yeah.
before. So it's so basically like what we're going to introduce in the next several weeks is how we call it pooling, but like you just deposit one or like several stable coins into Delphi, and then basically
I mean, essentially Harvest Finance version that's improved. It's fine. So exactly the same, really simplified. We'll have obviously, specific steps are going to be unique to Akro, but it will be a much simpler version of the savings option that you have right now. And to answer an earlier question, let me just pull them up. So there was a question around.
We're not in this question. We're still in the agenda.
No, okay, that's fine. But I mean,
yeah. So basically, because it's when it started first in June, we believed that people were going to basically to harvest all these DeFi tokens and to hold them. But what we see now is that basically some of the tokens that have like that much big inflation, so people tend to sell them, right? So we just want to automate it for our users, and so they just deposit one or several stable coins and just receive yield and native Delphi tokens. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. What we're doing right now in this direction is we're interviewing for a dedicated role, specifically to focus on creating strategies and rotating in and out of them. And, we can speak to that later, but essentially, a product, let's say DeFi product strategist role. We have half an hour left before we have to jump. Shall we focus on the questions on the agenda?
Do we have anything on the agenda, or we should jump to the question from the community?
Yeah, guys, just let us know how you want to.
Alex, your choice.
Yeah, sorry. I think that we're good to move to the community questions. I think the only two other things that I just want to say really quick, just to reiterate, was that this whole kind of idea, as Anna mentioned, I kind of bullied the team, I think, into making a lot of these features. But the whole idea came out of something called IDEO Collab Demo Day, and IDEO is a firm that's really focused on user experience and the user interface. And so they actually were the ones who helped develop the first laptop a bunch of years ago. So they're very well respected in Silicon Valley. And it's actually a really big deal that we got into that. So
that I didn't know about.
So it's really cool to see from when I walked into Anna 8, like back a couple of months ago, with just some screenshots of the UI to where we are now. So I'm very proud of that from the team perspective. So just to give you a little color on that situation. And then also, I don't know if you guys noticed the announcement, but we just recently got some funding from Alameda, which is a really big deal. They're the owners of the FTX exchange. And then we're getting a ton of inbound because of the success we've had from other high caliber VC firms in the space. So just so you guys know, people are taking notice of Delphi. And I think that that's like really great for our community moving forward.
Thank you, Alex. So let's actually move to the community questions. So we've received a couple of questions in Discord today. The first one was about actually, it's a popular one. It's about distinction between Akro and Adele, and how they differ or how they complement each other. So this one is for Anna, actually, to answer in full. Yeah.
The difference, use the analogy from Starting Group lent to us when we were working the token model. Essentially, guys, I think we have unstable connection.
Can you hear as well?
Yeah.
Okay. No, I'll go.
Yeah, cool. Which is all the products that are developed on Acro, the value accrues to Acro, so it's in platform level governance and benefits including economics with for active participants, obviously. With Delphi, it's specifically product level token because it was genuinely created by, like, it wouldn't have existed if people hadn't been asking us, and we decided to be very responsive and really go with the flow. So we don't really have the development of Delphi clearly is funded by Akropolis team, but it's owned by the community value users. So, for example, Sparta, which we have slightly deprioritized for the time being because obviously we're only human. There's a question of bandwidth. Adele has no impact on that. And then we're working on a third product that we will be fundraising for. That's asset-backed yield, so that will bring a really interesting value accrual to Acro. And so the best way to think about it is platform-wide, and by platform I mean Akropolis OS that we built, governance, economics, benefits, all of that is governed by Acro. And then we have Delphi, which is a bit of an outlier, and we felt it's only fair to give it to the users that really helped us develop it. So yeah, that's, if you have any questions, if that's not clear, happy to take.
Hey guys, if you have any questions, you can write in the chat. There's chat here in Zoom. So while we wait, I guess let's move to the next one. It was like actually was we had two questions, and actually was connected to the burn of 50% of Adele supply, and why we decided to do so, and how the rewards will be distributed and stuff like this. So this one is actually for Kate. Yep.
Yeah. So basically, when Adele went live, so when we like it's everything started, we didn't know what's the market cap of Adele would be, etc. And when it launched, it went like very well. Like in my opinion, it went extremely well. So during this week, we needed to decide about the rewards for the next week, right? And because of the Adele price, the APY for Delphi APY was basically more than 1,000%, right? And we basically we had a lot of requests of burning Adele, like part of supply of the Adele, and basically
Sounds very brutal.
burn Adele. Sorry. Yeah, so basically we had requests and we thought that we will put it into the governance, but it was like literally it was Sunday evening and we decided that everyone wants like to burn Adele, right? As brutal as it sounds. So I mean, yeah, that's why we didn't do signaling and just announce it as a team decision. But if we heard like any how to say it, any
Yeah, objections.
yeah, so basically we would rethink it. But the only objection was why you guys didn't put it into governance. Yeah, that was a mistake, definitely.
Or signaling, not
Yeah,
governance.
not governance, yeah, signaling. Yeah, that was a mistake. We thought that we would save time for us and for the community, but because of all these questions and all these fights, because of this, we definitely didn't save any time and gave much more work to Yana, unfortunately. Yeah, so, but all further decisions is up to governance, but I mean, it definitely wouldn't be such kind of ridiculous decisions like, okay, let's burn all the supply or like stop distributes rewards, etc. So we still have a roadmap for the product and we're still building it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, any product needs leadership, and I think it's very important to understand the direction. So it's very important to understand that, for example, in the case of Wi-Fi, and I think it set a very interesting precedent. It was a clearly defined product, which, as Andrew said on several occasions, is a finished article that wasn't going to change. Adele is different. It will be evolving. I'll just look at.
Yeah. So any for the governance. So basically, we are speaking right now a bit depending on XDAI team because they are building solution for themselves that we want to use as well. So it's probably save our time and gas fees for our users.
Okay,
and
there are some questions we need to address.
Yeah, I'm interested. Yeah, so basically next week will be more color on chain governance, but we will introduce signaling and forum next week probably.
Yeah, so for DHT, just basically, looking back at the difference between Adele and Acro, just super concisely, what Anna was saying is basically just Adele is solely for the Delphi product, whereas Acro is for the suite of Akropolis OS products.
Yeah.
So the value proposition is if you want to capture all of Akropolis OS, Acro is your token. If you want to be involved more in Delphi, Adele is your token. Now you'll need both in all of our, well, at least currently in Delphi, but that's kind of the difference there. So it really just depends on where you're looking to gain value and where you think has the most value as kind of an investor.
Like the question, do you plan on making Adele? It still has its roadmap, right? So like we are building it right now. So like some decisions, of course, will be made by us.
Cool. Yeah. 1 second.
To add some light to it, decentralization is a specter, actually, guys. You don't get decentralized from the day one. It's a gradual process, same as a guarded launch approach. It's a gradual process, so we will be starting with decentralizing some things and giving it to governance by the community, but still the core decisions of which will be influenced by the community as it's a community product. It will be influenced by our advisors and stuff like this, but it's essentially up to us until the product is actually shipped in full, and it's in beta still. So please bear in mind when you propose something that's it's actually the case right now.
So basically, yeah, you guys need to understand that like Delphi is like really 1 month old, right? So it can't just like live without any management and decision making. Like,
Yeah, and to any point that can be raised, like, but other teams are shipping in much faster phases and stuff like this. Delphi is a product which we are developing. Actually, we are writing the code ourselves. We are not forking anything. We are not copy pasting anything. It's actually built on our own tech.
It's an original product, yeah, which seems to be rare in the current ecosystem. Okay, давай уже. Let's just focus on other questions.
Yeah.
Time a little bit. Okay, so Emo's question. We mentioned building strategies, not yield chasing, yield generating. We're not going to be chasing yield. It's not something that's suitable for Delphi. Hiring a deeper strategist, how long would it be? Deploying something strategic, and how long can we roll out compounding our rewards?
I
Well,
would be able
yeah.
to answer this actually. Yeah, we just talked with our CTO today about this. So the next 2 weeks will be about building some simple strategies, pooling and stuff like this, as well as dollar cost averaging strategy for everyone. It's at least 2 weeks if we want to have something that works properly without bugs and without other problems. With everything moving forward, like, it's at least 2 weeks, and we will start testing it with the community, and of course we'll be opening some pools or anything to test it with caps, as we do, as we did and as we do. As to compounding rewards, actually, I'm not sure about the exact time frame, but it might be introduced as one of simple strategies when Akra and Adele rewards are compounded automatically into Akra and Adele staking, and other rewards are converted to stable coins and just added to the yields into the stable coin or investing pools. I guess that's answer. It's pretty much.
Yeah, the question is about value for Adele. So just a quick, yes, of course, we're working on the model, and we will be introducing fees from yield, from like external yield, and we also will be introducing like boosting. So basically, the longer you stake, the more rewards you get.
And in terms of, and I think this is probably where the question really is leading to, in terms of fundamental value accrual. As I mentioned before, we will be raising specifically for the rollout of proprietary products. So there will be a model that's essentially a value accrual model for the tokens that's driven off two things. So one is a profit share from third-party yield generating products, and others a higher profit share from proprietary products. The timeline on that, I can't really speak with a high degree of confidence around it was weeks, but let's say crypto native strategies are certainly a matter of weeks for sure. That's very high degree of confidence. Real world assets, which is what I'm working on right now, that's probably a matter of a few months. Okay, cool. Will there be similar products to Delphi in the future? I mean, not on our platform. No, it's meta yield aggregator. That's what it is. It'll just be basically.
Like we will be adding like new generating possibilities to our platform, but the platform is still the same.
Yeah. So essentially, you should look at it as a source of synthetic on-chain equivalent of savings and high yield accounts that will be curated. So obviously, we're not going to be just aggregating anything that comes on the market.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, no, we do have other questions from the community that you collected before, right?
Yeah. Yep. So the next one was
I
from
think, yeah, and shall I
also,
take the question about Alameda? Because a lot of people were concerned about it.
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
It was about investment in self, what will Alameda bring on the table, and stuff like this. So
Cool. Yeah, so fairly recently we closed a deal with Alameda Research, which is a group company of FTX, but also on the FTX exchange. They're not mining Adele. You shouldn't worry about them doing a sushi on us. Frankly, it's not our interest, so we just wouldn't let that happen. The benefits is twofold. So listings on both the exchanges. We specifically will not be listing derivatives on Akro. That's important. Um, and that's a point that we specifically codified in our relationship. Generally, if the overall concern is that Sam, that's already controlling sushi and a few other projects, is going to do the same with Acro, I can assure you we can't see that happening in the foreseeable future for one simple reason is that we made a very conscious decision to have maximum control over our fate, and we're sticking to it. That's why we excluded whales from our early participation rounds. We didn't include any paid for influencers or whales or anything of the sort. The thesis is very simple, and I mentioned this in a Telegram chat already. We believe that this will lead to a very granular and sticky asset base and user base for Acro. So we're sacrificing short-term kind of boom, and we're focusing on a slow, organic, gradual growth. Okay, slow by DeFi standards. In fintech, this would be just absolutely insane, right? So we just need to apply that sort of discount, right? That's DeFi, yeah, it's entirely different because, yeah. So that's a trade-off that we made consciously, and we were very happy sticking to that simply because everything that blew up and gave 8-9-digit APYs over the last few weeks. Listen, if you're winning like that, somebody's losing, right? If somebody's winning that kind of money, it's a Ponzi and on the other side of the Ponzi, there are people that are losing their savings in a very, very serious sense. So it's not something that we want to participate in.
yeah.
YouTube channels. Yeah. Hi, Quentin. You asked it before. We have no time, but we welcome people that would like to help us with that.
No, basically tutorials. It's basically
tutorials. DeFi
yeah,
DeFi Dad is going to be rolling them out for sure. Yeah, but in terms of us having our channel that's dedicated, I think apart from posting community calls and having
I will be adding tutorials and stuff like this
Yeah.
that are posted by others to our channel, but you're welcome to start doing them actually, because we basically have no time at the moment. We will be working on it in the future, but right now we are concentrating on the development side. So just to quickly answer two another questions from Discord. One is about bootstrapping developers and stuff like this. Well, guys, our code is open source. And you're welcome to contribute to help us in any way you see fit. Like, actually, you can just add requests or commits on GitHub, and our developers will look into them. But they are working on GitHub, not in our Discord, not in Telegram. They're actually working. And we will be implementing and setting up different Gitcoin bounties most probably in future, but right now it's everything is in team. So the best way would be actually checking the code on GitHub. And another question was about Polkadot and Akropolis and stuff like this. So I will just reiterate myself. We are currently completed our Polkadot substrates roadmap back in March, actually, and we're now concentrated on both our products like Delphi first, Sparta next, and we just have no capacity to expand it to Polkadot at the moment. When we have more capacity and when Polkadot itself becomes more stable, because it's still a work in progress, their platform not finished yet, we will look into them again. But right now it's Delphi as a #1 priority, nothing else. And I guess Anna will be able to answer a little bit of questions about Nexus Mutual and stuff like this, because
Yeah, just to expand regarding Polka, so one of the first projects building on 2 chains on it's actually not accurate to Polka chain, but building on Ethereum and on Polka, one of the first DeFi projects doing that last year. Before DeFi became a hype and a meme that it is right now. All the benefits of composability right now are within Ethereum space. Our focus is on just making sure that we have the product market fit well addressed. We have a stable value accrual model, and then reverting or replicating on Polka or anywhere else is very easy, right? Alex is very competent in multiple blockchain solutions, so that won't be an issue, and we have a good network of Rust engineers. So that's, but it was simply unfeasible to continue building on both and making any serious progress. Whereas porting or replicating is, once the PMF is there, you've got your core user base, and you've got a clear value accrual model and revenue model ahead of you. That's super easy. I just want to take the question regarding Nexus Mutual credit ratings. Okay, so Nexus Mutual, we're working with the team already. So obviously they needed, if you're familiar with how Nexus works, they need the core audit to be complete. So that was done, and the lead audit report. So we started that work. As soon as the team completed the audit, we'll be allocating Akro tokens for the insurance staking that Nexus have rolled out, and we'll talk more about that early next week. I'll do a separate post on that. For the additional product line that we're working on, we'll get more news about a very much closer collaboration with Nexus Mutual. I don't want to spill the beans yet, and you will see a lot more detail around how we think around insurance wrapped yield generating products. So that's something that I personally am very excited about. Fiat on-ramps, connecting debit cards, yes, all of that in the works. The reason why we didn't prioritize it yet is fairly straightforward. There's a lot of capital that's into the crypto ecosystem. We have more than enough demand that's crypto native right now. But we're going to be working
next month
with Ramp Network, yeah, or Transact. We'll have a chat with Monolith guys that are London-based as well. If you have any specific regional preferences and the fees are reasonable, then ping us, ping Alex in the Discord chat.
I guess it's pretty much it actually from the question side.
The scoring.
It's also in the question with me neutral. The next meeting.
Yeah, the credit ratings. Yeah, I'll just expand on that quickly. So there are two approaches that one can take. There isn't enough rich data on chain, or that wasn't the case. That wasn't the case recently. After the explosion of yield farming, that's likely to have changed. We will not be doing proprietary scoring because there are at least 2 or 3 on-chain startups that are working on that. So they're working on decentralized credit agency or Experian. So we'll be picking up those conversations for sure, but we're not trying to build everything in-house. That's not feasible, and frankly, that really goes against the benefits of composability in the ecosystem. And actually, this really makes an interesting point because we, in fintech or traditional finance, people historically tend to see a lot of value in building a vertically integrated company, right? Where you've got as much as possible in-house. And in DeFi, that's very different, right? Because the development and product design is hard, right? It's very easy to fork something. It's very hard to build something original that has stickiness to it, right? And genuine value accrual. So what we're doing, that's something that I'm doing on a recurrent basis, are screening teams and solutions that we can collaborate with to enhance our proposition. How can we collaborate with Wi-Fi? So yeah, we actually discussed that with Andre a few weeks ago. Essentially, there's a variety of ways in which to do that. We will probably need to do a little bit more thinking internally before we can expand in detail. But the base case scenario is basically integrating some of the vaults, some of the strategies alongside our proprietary solutions. But I think there's much deeper potential out there, and we just want to do a lot more research before we can speak to that. But obviously, it's a fantastic, admirable project to collaborate with, for sure.
We ran out of time. Actually, it's how that we had actually passed. So I guess that will be it for the first community call. There were a lot of questions, and I'm happy to see it actually. And that you are free to ping the team in Telegram or in Discord to answer them. Actually, in the meantime, if you have any additional questions, you are free to ask them. And I guess we will be hosting, just to wrap up everything, we will be hosting community calls on a regular basis. We will tell about the next one near to the dates, but I would say that it will be either weekly or bi-weekly basis, starting from week after.
Bi-weekly, because we would like to start taking weekends off if you don't mind.
I don't mind. Yeah, guys, and this one was some kind of an exception because we know that on Sundays people are usually resting. It's like we just love to work for some reason. So the next community call will be on the weekday, most probably. And we will tell about it beforehand, and you will have much more time to prepare for it. I will also be working on how to improve them and to let more people in without locking the meeting itself because of some scammers, spammers, and people who just want to ruin it. So thank you very much, everyone, for attending. It was an epic experience, and I guess I will say for everyone, we loved it, and we hope that you love to too. And see you in the chat rooms and on the next call somewhere this month.
Oh, yeah, we've got a kitty. What's her name or her?
Не можешь так говорить. У меня, наверное, микрофон замечен.
Yes.
Totoro.
Oh, it's Totoro. It's your favorite.
Totoro. Little Maine
Oh
Coon.
my God! Hold on. What's the breed? This is what my mom has.
Maine Coon.
Huh?
Maine Coon.
Yeah, it's Maine Coon, right? Oh
Yep.
my God! I love Maine Coons. Massive.
I thought I'd bring a cat on.
No, listen. This is we're definitely a cat community. Yeah, Maine Coons are incredible, aren't they?
Yep. It's my baby.
Well, how big is he? Oh my
He's
God!
only 14 pounds a year.
Okay, forget about Akropolis. Check this out. He looks like a lynx.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, nice, so nice.
Well,
Okay.
thank you guys so much.
Yeah, listen, no worries. Okay, on the next call in 2 weeks' time, at least one community member must bring a cat.
Yeah, I will actually bring my, he's sleeping for some reason, he don't want to attend, unfortunately this time. So okay guys, thank you very much everyone for attending. I will be wrapping it up and uploading it on YouTube today or tomorrow for everyone to check. So
Awesome. Cool.
Yeah,
Okay, guys, more cats next time.
Thank you.
bye bye everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Bye-bye.